Civil Rights Cold War era test. Question 1. What two countries were allies in World War II are not getting along during the Cold War? B. Mexico and Texas. C. Soviet Union and the United States. Or D. The United States and France. Question 2. The blank was the U.S. pledge to help any nation threatened externally or internally authoritarian forces. A. Iron Curtain. B. Truman Doctrine. D. Détente. Question 3. What Supreme Court case ruled that segregation in public schools is unconstitutional? A. Plessy v. Ferguson. B. Brown v. Board of Education. D. Marbury v. Madison. Question 4. In April 1961, Russia's Yuri Gagarin becomes the first man in space, beating American blank by 1 month. B. John F. Kennedy. C. Ed White. D. Alan Shepard. Question 5. In 1865, this amendment to the United States Constitution abolished slavery and involuntary servitude, except as punishment for a crime. A. 13th Amendment. C. 15th Amendment. D. First Amendment. Which one abolished slavery? Question 6. Where is NASA's Mission Control Center located? A. Houston, Texas. B. San Antonio, Texas. C. Washington, D.C. Question 7. Blank led Corps to organize civil rights activists, known as Freedom Riders, to ride interstate buses into the segregated South in order to protest a variety of civil rights violations. A. Emmett Till. C. James L. Farmer, Jr. D. Martin Luther King, Jr. Question 8. What was the U.S. goal in the Korean War? Vietnamization, containment, D. Help the economy. Question 9. A person who is strict in observance of traditional or established forms or beliefs and to rely on personal responsibility with limited government intervention has a blank ideology. Is it B. Communist, C. Conservative, D. Capitalist? Question 10. All of the following were used by the Viet Cong against the U.S. in the Vietnam War, except A. Punji traps, C. Tunnels, D. Helicopters. Which did they not use? Question 11. On July 20th, 1969, 600 million people around the world blank as Neil Armstrong became the first human to walk the moon. A. Watched it on TV. B. Joined hands. D. Died of shock. Question 12. Signed by President Johnson, this act outlawed literacy tests, poll taxes, and other requirements used to restrict black men from voting. A. Voting Rights Act of 1955. B. Voting Rights Act of 1965. Or C. Civil Rights Act of 1964. Question 13. What is the domino theory? A. The belief that if one Southeast Asian country falls to communism, others will fall. B. The belief that the U.S. could rule the whole world one country at a time. Or D. The belief that the U.S. was taking itself too seriously. Question 14. Racial fears, affordable housing, and the desire to leave decaying cities were all factors that prompted many white Americans to flee or leave A. to suburbia, to Korea, back to rural hometowns. Where did they want to go? Question 15. This was aka McCarthyism because Senator McCarthy led hearings that pursued finding communists in Washington, D.C. and Hollywood. Was it called the Red Tide, C, the DMZ, D, the Red Scare? Question 16. The Vietnam War was the first time the U.S. used blank for insertion of troops into combat. Airplanes, a draft, or helicopters? Question 17. All of the following were events that occurred in 1963 on the civil rights timeline except B. The Children's Crusade is met with fire hoses and police dogs. C. 4 young girls were killed in a bombing at the 16th Street Baptist Church. D. The Greensboro Four helped Woolworth to desegregate their lunch counters. Question 18. On December 25, 1991, Gorbachev resigned and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics dissolved, ending the Civil Rights Movement, B. Cold War, D. Vietnam War. 19. The blank led to slogans, signs, songs, and protests like the one at Kent State U where 4 students were killed. A. Anti-war movement, C. Civil rights movement, D. Fall of Saigon. Question 20. The border between North Korea and South Korea is called A. The equator, B. The 38th parallel, D. The 17th parallel.